I saw a quote from a content creator on TikTok by the name of Sean Shuttlesworth. First time I saw their video, but after seeing this one, I immediately followed, liked the video, and it got me to my topic for today. And here's the quote. Worrying is imagining the wrong future on purpose. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, that is exactly 100% on. And so it got me going down a rabbit hole. There are so many things that I believe in regards to how we can best live our lives in a society that is constantly trying to stress us out, constantly trying to get us these instant fixes, constantly trying to show us all of the things that we don't have. So it puts our mind into a state of want and a state of lacking. And it's not good for our mental health. As I've stated before, and if you never heard me say it, mental health is probably the most important factor a human can worry about. Because what your mind is thinking, what is swimming around in your head, is only swimming around in your head, and it is causing your reality. So today I want to go over a few things that I want to make sure that I say out loud as a human being so other people can hear these things, because I might have been lacking in that department as of late, but we're getting back to it. So number one, the thoughts that you think and the things that ruminate over and over and over in your head directly impact your quality of life and how you feel about your life. It's not an issue to think about things. In fact, thinking is probably one of our greatest tools that we have as humans. Thinking is amazing. It is a powerful tool. And if you're not aware of its uses or of its capabilities, then that thinking could be causing you harm. So I fully believe that what we think about anything, our situations, cereal, colors, types of music, whatever we think about stuff informs our emotions, therefore inform how we feel in life. For example, there was a point in time where Peeps were the worst thing in the world. Like, I had a emotional reaction to people liking Peeps. I could not understand it. I had choice words for Peeps. It was very illogical, but I thought a certain thing about Peeps, that they were disgusting and vile and should have never existed. And that produced emotions because of that thinking. Once I changed my thoughts about Peeps, which is whatever, it's candy, I don't have to eat it, it's a non-factor. And for me, non-factors don't have any emotional ties to it. Therefore, Peeps come and go in my brain. I don't think about Peeps. When I see Peeps in the store, I don't lose my shit. And I know that sounds like a very little example, but put that example on anything you want in life. I remember I used to be very anxious going into crowded spaces that were predominantly white. I used to feel like I was always being watched. I used to feel like I needed to be extra on my toes, and it was exhausting. I couldn't go anywhere with my family without having this tension built up on these thoughts that I was thinking that were informing my feelings and producing these emotions that caused my body to do certain things. All of that situation happened because of what I was thinking. Once I let go of the anxiousness about something about to happen, because I realized that I can't tell the future, and anything I am wondering about or thinking about or planning about in the future is all in my head. It has not happened yet. And contrary to what you might believe, anything is possible. And I feel like once you allow yourself to believe that anything is possible, you start to understand that if anything is possible, rather than worrying about the shit that I don't want, rather than doom planning for a possibility, an imaginary possibility that does not exist, I can redirect that energy and start loving on the things that I do want. Getting excited about the events that I do want to occur. And once you have that thought process, everything switches. Gradually over time, you become less anxious about things that used to make you anxious, and you get more joy and excitement from doing the things that you love doing. I think the problem is people don't realize that, let's take anger, for instance. Let's say someone did something to you personally that made you angry. What are you doing with that anger? I know a lot of people like to say anger fuels them and they use anger to push through hard events. Anger has its purposes. I don't think anger is as necessary as we believe it should be. There are a lot of evils that happen in this world and they used to make me angry, but with that anger came my lack of critical thinking, came my random outbursts, came my So one problem with using the internet to record your podcast, sometimes the internet drops and it'll be saying some stuff and nothing's getting recorded. Fortunately, things did get recorded. I just got a little extra few steps to get everything recovered. But let's get back to what I was saying. Started off with what you think directly influences your life. And that's with everything. If you think you need to hustle to get to the next step, then you're going to have to hustle to get to the next step. If you think that you only have to do 2 or 3 things consistently and your journey to the next step is going to be enjoyable and lucrative, then that's what it's going to be. We rarely question the thoughts that flow into our heads, and sometimes we listen to them without hesitation. A lot of stuff we do is automatic because it's comfortable. It doesn't rock the boat. You ever notice when you attempt to do something for the very first time that you've never done before, that anxious feeling that pops up? Some people read that anxious feeling and are like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. They're making up a story. They're worrying about an imaginary future that they're making up on the fly. What that anxiousness really is your brain saying, oh, I've never done this before. Your unconscious mind is like, it's my job to keep you safe. Since this is new, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. Let's not do it. And in order to make you not do it, it makes you feel anxious because the only future you see is you failing or you getting made fun of or you not knowing exactly how to excel at this challenge. Therefore, of course, you're going to root out all of the things that you don't want to happen. And that's what you start thinking about. And that's what you start running over your head and your head and your head and all the things you don't want. All that future thinking is causing you present anxiousness. It's causing you present procrastination. It's causing you present imposter syndrome. I will strive the rest of my life to find the words to break down to everyone who's willing to listen that a lot of the things that we carry, a lot of the things that keep us down and hold us back from being happy, from achieving our goals, are things that were not ours to believe. They're not truths. Just because we feel them deeply and just because we feel them so real in our body, it does not make it a true statement. If you ever thought, oh, I'm not smart enough to learn this, that's bullshit. If you ever thought, oh, I'm not deserving of this, that's bullshit. I found out early in my life that I was really good at seeing the highest potential of people and always wondering, like, how do they not see this? I have so many content creator buddies who are amazing at what they do. And if they were injected with a mindset of everything I do is gold and I'm having fun with this, the sky is a limit for them. But if a video doesn't pop off like it should, they start to question that drive. They start to question their skill set. They start to question if they should be doing the things that they do. I've spoke to a lot of entrepreneurs who have great business ideas, sound business ideas, but because it's something they've never done before, they doubt it. They let other people's results start to influence their thoughts on their potential results. They like to think about the lack of customers coming through the door as a reflection on them as a person who should be running a business. And that's not how that works. Just like you can think that, oh, I didn't text this person back in 24 hours, they're probably thinking the worst of me. You don't know that. Even if they have a history of doing that, you don't know without a shadow of doubt that that's true. So why allow yourself to worry about such things and just text the person back and be like, hey, what's up? Sorry, I missed your message. How's everything going? And go from there. Now, if they bring it up and they're like, yeah, hey, I'm a little upset. It took you forever to text me back. Then you deal with it. But there's no sense in worrying about something that has not yet happened. Because at its most fundamental level, we do not know what is going to happen in the future. Like, I know my wife very well. I can't realistically predict what she's going to do tomorrow. Even if I know her schedule, I know her work schedule, I know when she likes to eat lunch. There are still factors in this world that can alter that on so many levels. So while I have a good idea about what she's doing tomorrow, if her schedule changes, I'm not emotionally tied to my good idea because I know anything is possible. So if she's like, oh, hey, I'm at the mall with the girls, I don't have a panic attack. I'm like, hey, this is not what was supposed to be lined up. Why aren't you doing this? When what we've been thinking about doesn't align with what results we get in the future, sometimes that can cause an emotional disturbance in us as well. We are creatures of habit. We love knowing when things are going to happen. That's why TV shows are so big. They're pretty much predictable. Even if you think you're getting surprised, more than likely part of you knew exactly what was going to happen. And our brain loves that. Or our unconscious mind loves that. The more predictable things are, the more I can categorize things away and just follow them for later use, the easier and happier I am in my job. That's your unconscious mind. So if you had dreams of being a content creator and you've never showed your face on camera before, how you think about that situation will determine how easy or hard your road to success will be. If you think things like, oh, I don't want to look weird on camera, or I don't want this to be cringy, or am I looking at myself? Do I look at the lens? Do I look at the screen? If you're overthinking it that much, your unconscious mind is going to be like, uh-oh, I feel some nervousness. We never did this before. Abort, anxiousness. Imposter syndrome, have some of this. Or if you go into it and you're like, hey, I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to learn as I grow. I have no idea how to do any of this. I'm not expected to be an expert at it at this point. So I'm going to use this first few months to learn my style, learn what I like, learn what I don't like, and adapt this to me. I promise you're going to have way more fun creating content with that mentality versus, oh, did I forgot to do the subtitles? What tags do I use? Did I use the right description? All that shit comes with time. I promise you. Like, you will learn it all in due time. You don't need to know all of that at the very beginning of your journey. Hell, you don't even need to title your goddamn video at this point. If you go on TikTok, shoot something you were thinking about and you just posted it, who knows what that could do? What I'm saying is we don't always need the blueprint in order to move forward with things that we want out of life. In fact, it is more advantageous for you to move forward without a blueprint and learn along the way. Just remind yourself that, hey, this is a new endeavor. I don't know everything, but I am looking forward to learning all the things that I need to know to make this successful. Because if you spend all that time worrying about getting ready or preparing to get ready or studying or watching YouTube after tutorial, after webigram, if you keep pumping yourself full of information, you're just delaying the start. I don't think there is a limit of, okay, I know all of these new things about this new thing that I haven't did. I learned all of this without touching it first. Let's go forward. I think you're wasting more time gathering up all of that knowledge rather than just starting at the beginning with what you know. Be honest with yourself. There's a lot of things that you want to do. You don't need to know the whole roadmap. You just need to know, hey, I put this in there, I press play, and we're good to go. As you move down that road, you will learn more skills. You will learn more techniques. You will learn the things that you need to know. You just need to not be afraid to go through those steps. Fear is one of the biggest thing that keeps everybody back from doing anything they want. Men aren't truthful with their wives because they fear the response they may get if they become more emotional or more opening. Women don't have conversations with their husbands because they fear the reaction they're going to get if it's something they don't agree with. These are all thoughts. Even, again, I try my hardest not to let past experiences dictate my present because I'm a human being. I've gone through so many iterations on this earth. I'm 43. I've been all types of people. But who I am today is somebody who lives in the present moment. I don't assume anything about your actions towards me or around me. I take note and then I go from there. And if I have questions, I ask. If I don't, I move on. Like, I don't argue. I don't raise my voice to anybody. I can't remember the last time I got like angry or mad because everything is on face value. The way you react to me is not a report on me. It's not defining who I am. If you hate Black people, that's on you and your thinking. And what you think provides you with emotions, and those emotions provide you with actions, and those actions get displayed to us in the world, and that allows us to interpret what your actions are. Okay, they're saying this about these people, or they're saying, hey, it was just a joke, it doesn't matter. To me, that's a cosign. And in my world, I don't deal with you anymore. In my time in this world, the more diverse a group is, the crazier the outcomes of the solutions to a problem will happen. If you get a room full of programmers to create a entire new piece of software, if you get a team of designers in to create an entirely new piece of software, you're going to get two really different pieces of product. One's going to look amazing. One's going to run extremely well, but one might not be as powerful as the other one is, or one might not be as useful with the UI as the other one. But when you marry those two together, you get something that is amazing. Same thing happens with people. I feel like I'm all over the place in this podcast, but I just wanted to remind everybody that we have more agency over our life than we give ourselves credit for. If you can find it in yourself to question your emotions. Why am I angry right now? Because I'm going to tell you this. If it's not joy, happiness, things that uplift your soul, even when they are things that uplift your soul, question every emotion. If you like being angry, then hey, this podcast is not for you. I'm just talking to a wall. But if you don't enjoy being angry, question why you're angry. Question if it is useful in this present moment, or are you being triggered by something either that happened in the past or something that you're imagining in the future? Anxiety. If you love anxiety, then again, I'm not talking to you. But if you don't enjoy feeling anxious, question that anxiety. Am I responding to an anxiety that is happening now, in the past, or in the future? And if it's in the future or the past or the present for that matter, I can help. I spent a lot of time learning how the brain works, figuring out why it works. How does music influence our psyche? How does listening to the same speeches from the same people over and over and over and over again impact our psyche? If thinking runs your entire life, do know that your thinking can be influenced a number of different ways by every sense that you have access to. So if you watch a lot of certain type of movies or cartoons or TV shows, that is influencing what you think, especially if you're doing it mindlessly. If you're not mindful with the content you're consuming, it is definitely influencing you in ways you're probably not even aware of. What social media accounts do you follow? When you're doom scrolling, what is the thing that overtakes most of your feed? That is influencing your thinking. And with that, your thinking gets influenced. So when an event happens, boom, your subconscious is like, oh, this is what we think about that. Here's this emotion. The emotion pops up, and emotion dictates an action. The emotion is there to get you to act. Think about the emotions that show up for you throughout the day. Are those emotions that you want to keep in your life, or are those something that you would love to work on and get in check? If the latter, don't hesitate. Sign up for a discovery call with me. We figure out what it is that is keeping you stuck, how we want to move forward with it, get you moving towards that new action, and call it a day. It doesn't take a lot of time. Usually you can get it done in one session, maybe two. If you tried therapy, or if you haven't tried therapy or thought about therapy and want actions rather than some steps to follow from week to week, I'm not about that action. I know that the thing that is causing you this emotional stuckness is a thought. Once we figure out what that thought is, we can redirect the information that is being used by that thought, by your subconscious mind, to elicit that emotion. We can make sure the unconscious mind realize that, hey, this is not what that means anymore, or this is no longer happening. Thank you for the alert, but we don't need it anymore. That's what I do in my sessions. That's what I do with my clients. And that's what I can do for you if you book a discovery call and get this journey started. Other than that, thank you for listening. As always, if you haven't shared this podcast with someone who can benefit from conversations like these and more, please share the podcast with them. Upload and unfiltered. I started this thing because I wanted more Black content creators to start making content, because I understood at the beginning of this, the content that we are consuming influences our reality. If we can take charge of our content, the more the merrier. We can start dictating how we show up in this world. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next one. As always, protect your mental, keep creating content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.